Hey Harv, it's Justin. Here's a little video tutorial here of this GoogleAid thing I've concocted. What you need to do is, as I've done, unzip it. I've probably emailed it to you in the zip folder. Unzip the GoogleAid folder out and open up my computer and put it in your C drive. So whatever's in your C drive, just go ahead and move this in here. Now if you look inside the folder here, the only thing you really need to concern yourself with is this actual executable file right here. All of this stuff basically needs to live in this folder. I didn't code it very fancy, so it relies on needing these files to be where they are. So if you want, you can make a shortcut onto your desktop, and then we don't need to have that here anymore. So anyway, this is how it works. There's kind of there's a web browser built into this program here. This is like totally 90s technology, so it isn't horribly sophisticated, but it's what I know like the back of my hand, so I was able to get this up pretty quickly. So what we want to do is, if you have modern versions of Access, you can use Access 2007. I suggest just leaving it at the default Access 97. It should work just fine. Go ahead and press start when we want to get going here. Now what we're going to do is, as soon as we start the program, it's connected to a database with all the records that I couldn't find in MapPoint. So we're going to use Google Map to see if we can get some better luck, and so far I've been finding been having that better luck. So the first thing that happens is we have to find the address, and as soon as you click find the address, these lines will populate with latitude and longitude, and you can see the point on the map here, and we can see that Nelson Place in Kelowna is popping up here on Nelson Place, and if we want to zoom out, I mean, we can see, yes, it is in Kelowna, and this is most likely the reason why. We can actually see the reason why it's not routing is it has just a tiny little nick, little apostrophe before Nelson Place, so just a typo. But the thing is that just completely screws up the routing, so my routing table will need to have a special case for this. It may end up being easier for you to just delete the little nick in front of Nelson Place and it'll get routed, but in any event, it's kind of a bad example. But let's just say, okay, great, we're going to accept the fact that this address was found at these latitude and longitude coordinates. So now that automatically goes to our next unrouted customer. We can see the lat longs are gone, so we want to find the address for Bridgeview, and it finds it here, no problem. We can see in the map it's Bridgeview Road. In the customer file it's Bridgeview Court, so that's the reason why I didn't get routed. So far what I found is spelling differences, typos, spaces where there shouldn't be spaces. Again, my software always worked fine in the US. It seemed that MapPoint was a lot more friendlier finding typos in the United States, but in Canada it would rather find, you know, a street with that exact spelling in you know, Nova Scotia than it would, you know, finding the weird one here in right here in BC. So anyway, so we found that address. We're going to accept that. So this basically becomes an exercise of click this button, check the map real fast, you know, zoom out if there's any question. I have seen a few pins that pin all the way over into Vancouver Island. So it's just a case of a road that just can't be found. Accept. Next. Same road. Accept. What I've been doing is once I find a few on the same road, I don't necessarily go through them all. I'll click forward and just, that's what these buttons do. They click forward or they click backwards. So if you miss something and you're like, oh, I want to go back, or that's fine. You can use these to move forward, back. I wouldn't use these guys. They go to the first of the record and the last of the record. So 0 here, oops. Well, good. Like if you ever accidentally try to accept that pin for this address, well, I did manage to put in a little bit of bulletproofing, and the fact that there's no lat longs there, it says no, you can't do that. So we got to find the address first. Okay, there it is. Now this didn't route because it doesn't have an address, so we're looking at this, that this is going to be the guesstimated location. If you want to play around with it, if you know exactly where it is, feel free to. I've made it so you can actually drag the pin and you say, okay, well, this particular address is going to be over here, and then it updates the lat longs, and then we're going to accept that. I'm actually not going to accept it. I'm going to find it here and set it back to where it was. Now, I also have this reject geocoding. Oh, incidentally, I guess it would make it easier if I had the customer name on here too. Maybe I'll see if I can add that into this line down here before I send it over to you, just to help make that a little easier. But anyway, I have reject geocoding. Sometimes you will get error from Google saying it can't find that address, in which case you can go ahead and click the reject, and it will basically just make a note in the database that we couldn't find lat longs for it, and that's fine. There's also requerying. I don't think you need to worry about that. It's just as you find things, you can requery to get rid of them. So as you navigate forward and backwards, you won't see them in the list anymore. Not a big deal. If you close the software, which you can exit out or just hit close and then restart it again, again, you will have to click start because it launches all the little internal applications that need to get done. And incidentally, don't click the start until you see the map of Winnipeg come up. Until you see that map, none of the code will work because it means it hasn't connected to Google yet. It's the reason why I have to put a start button there. But anyway, we'll see that some of the ones that we did before are now gone because the database has already been flagged as we found them, either because a geocode was accepted or it was rejected. So anyway, again, we just go through this, finding addresses, accepting them. These are the ones that I skipped over last time. I'm just going to go ahead and accept them. Like I say, even though we've already found, like once we find one customer on the street, chances are we don't need to find all 10 because, you know, they're just going to get the same route anyway. That's why I just more quickly, you know, went forward through things to get past the this Capistrano Drive or whatever is another one where there's a lot in there, and you know, you can just forward fast past them. Okay, anyway, I hope that makes sense. I got it. You know, I got about 300 done in about an hour myself, and there's only about another 600 left. So hopefully, with your understanding of the territory, you'll be able to know what make quick work of it. All right. So I will leave that to you, and let me know how it works. Thanks. Bye.